Hi, I'm the Tabletop Teacher, and in this video, we'll talk about the Stealth standard speed power. After covering the basics, we'll take a look at a couple of interesting combinations and ways to play against stealthy characters. Stealth is identified by a black background on the speed slot of the dial. Characters that have the Batman Ally team ability can also use stealth, and they can do so on every click. In a nutshell, characters that can use stealth make perfect use of hindering terrain, whether it's rocks, bushes, cars, whatever. You can't see them unless you're standing right next to them. It's surprising how much there is to say about a power that is so succinctly worded. Stealth can prove to be one of the most effective defensive powers in Heroclix. Damage reducing, attack evading, and reroll forcing powers are great, but if your opponent was counting on a lot of ranged attacks, stealth will be the power that gives him or her the bigger headaches. Here's why. Casey Jones is too far to make a close attack, but could get rid of any which one of these foot ninjas with a single hit with his ranged combat expert power. Nope. The lines of fire to the foot ninjas are blocked. Thanks to their stealth, the fact they are occupying hindering terrain blocks Casey's lines of fire to them. At the end of his turn, the outsider just created a smoke cloud in front of himself, so he's now safe from Martian Manhunter's psychic blast. That hindered line of fire is blocked because of stealth. Emma Frost wants to outwit Magneto's pulse wave before he can use it on his next turn. No can do. Magneto has stealth, and outwit requires a line of fire. Since there's a car in the way that hinders the line of fire, well, Emma Frost's line of fire to Magneto is blocked. Almost every power that requires a line of fire is affected by stealth. Some, like Perplex and Outwit, even require that line of fire when characters are adjacent. Probability control is a special case. It doesn't change the wording of stealth in any way, but that's where the first part of that sentence really comes into play most of the time. When it's not your turn. Because this means that when it is your turn, hindered lines of fire to your stealthy characters are not blocked. So if Batman throws a Batarang at Anarchy and hits, Anarchy can use his probability control to have Batman re-roll that. Stealth is far more powerful than it seems to be when you first read it. An especially interesting combination is stealth with any ranged attack and improved movement that allows your character to move freely in and out of hindering terrain. Take the prime version of Poison Ivy from the World's Finest set. With a range of 6 and 2 lightning bolts, she can stay hidden in the bushes and attack opposing characters coming her way. Combat reflexes is also amazing to have along with stealth. If Catwoman is hiding in hindering terrain to avoid ranged combat attacks, opposing characters are likely to try and make close combat attacks against her. Her combat reflexes then give her a 19 defense against those close attacks. Because that's essentially what stealthy characters force you to do when they're occupying hindering terrain. In order to deal some damage to those characters, you have to move into an adjacent square and use something that doesn't require a line of fire. A close combat action, like Flurry, will do the trick, of course. Poison can be very useful. Incapacitate and Mind Control can both be used with close combat actions, so those are also options. By the way, if you do use Mind Control on an opposing stealthy character, try to make that your first move if you can. Control the character, move him or her out of the square that provides cover, and then have your teammates make ranged attacks all you like. Another interesting thing you can do is to have a character with Force Blast push the stealthy opponent out of the position that provides cover. Stonewall is especially adept at this because his Freedom Force trait allows him to be given a move action and then use Force Blast as a free action. So you can move him into place and push Storm out of hindering terrain so Harpoon can pin her down with his range attack. You could also do something similar with Quake. But keep in mind, this won't work against characters that ignore knockback, like those that have combat reflexes or charge. There's always Pulse Wave, of course. Pulse Wave's lines of fire ignore both hindering terrain and stealth, among a gazillion other things, so there you go. Lastly, having a character with the Superman Ally or Avengers Initiative team ability, or improved targeting that treats hindering terrain as clear terrain for line of fire purposes is always a good idea. This, in effect, nullifies stealth. You can see stealth as a cool bonus for one of your characters to have, but you can also build your whole team around it and have your opponents struggle to hit you. But this also shows you how important it is for your team to be ready to play against stealthy characters. Do you have a favorite stealthy character? Share your stealth using or countering strategies in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the Tabletop Teacher, and as always, thanks for playing with me.